Congressman Dusty Johnson now speaking publicly about what is next after narrowly missing a spot in the South Dakota Republican gubernatorial runoff.
In a sit-down interview with Dakota News Now, Johnson is reflecting on the close loss, his remaining months in Congress, and the issues that he still hopes to tackle before leaving Washington. Despite the outcome, Johnson says his focus remains on serving South Dakota and finding new ways to contribute.
In life, and we've all lost, and of course winning beats the heck out of losing, but you just gotta, I understand, and hopefully everybody who ever loses does, that there are bigger things ahead, right? I mean, my interest has always been about doing things rather than about being things, and so I still love this state. I still think we all have an opportunity to contribute to a better South Dakota.
Johnson also discusses affordability concerns, public safety, and what's next after Congress. Hear much more from our one-on-one conversation tomorrow on Dakota News Now at 4 o'clock.